We are about to enter into something we did long ago because it's finally open.
Hey, finally. Finally, yeah.
You got the Bee Sharps. You got Rainer Wolf Castle. Itchy and Scratchy's right there. Oh look! Hello! I am Troy McClure. You may know me as the famous star. Rest in peace, Phil Hartman. Got Lori Lumpkin. We got Krusty the Clown. So neat. Are you just touching Krusty's star?
They're cute. I like them.
Yeah. Got the attraction fully open, and yeah, if you haven't guessed that, it's nighttime, and we're both checking
it's kind of bright
out
for nighttime.
It's kind of bright for nighttime, but remember our video last time that we kind of did some of the food? We're now finally doing the ride because it's finally open.
Finally.
Yeah, so we're gonna have fun. Like, let's check the line, the enter line here thing, because look at this. You've got like cardboard cutouts of all of the characters just waiting in line.
Well, I'm sure it's not cardboard, but you know, it's cutouts.
Yeah, it's still cutouts. Like, let's check the enter line here thing, because look at this. You've got like cardboard cutouts of all of the characters just waiting in line.
Well, I'm sure it's not cardboard, but you know, it's cutouts.
Yeah, it's still cutouts. Tech Theater stage door. I also love they're just allowing us to just go all the way back here to look at all this stuff. Like Selma, there's El Bardo and Skinner Stings. Oh no, they got caught as another El Bardo, but it's just Bart. Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, poor Grandpa Simpson got tied up with Santa's little helper. Cat Markman almost killed Snowball. Got so much. Look at worst dimension ever. This is Star Wars text.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, get the pet. Oh wow! I just remember the Simpsons are now owned by Disney. That's fun to remember.
Folks. Oh, seat folks. Oh, I hate those.
The seat pokes? Oh no.
Oh no.
That's like Bugs Life all over again.
Traumatized.
Oh, look at that. You got Bart Simpson just chilling there with all the money. That's fun. It is cool. Here's what the ticket looks like once you purchase it. I got a general admission, but it looks very cool. Okay, we got out of seeing the Simpsons 4D attraction. This is spoilers anyway, and also I will...
Yeah, spoiler warning right now, because I'm about to rip this shit
Okay,
apart.
well, first of all, like, if you're wondering why I wasn't talking in some of those clips, because apparently when you're inside the theater, you're not supposed to film, even though we were in the waiting queue area, which makes no sense.
Yeah, one of the attendants came over and saw her filming, and was like, "You're not allowed to film inside the building itself."
But I wasn't gonna...
Which I thought was really weird, but...
Well, it was more, I wanted to film just the queue. I wasn't going to film the show anyway.
Yeah.
But the guy's like, don't film at all. I'm like... But then later it gets contradicted saying, oh, you can take pictures of some of the cutouts. And I'm like, okay, that's just being contradicting.
Yeah, it was like really weird. I think it's because you were filming on like a camcorder style camera, but even then, like, they can't really tell what you were doing with it.
Well, I'm also was vlogging, so...
Yeah.
The Simpsons 4D attraction.
Where do you want to start? You want to start in the queue, or do you want to start in the video?
I say we start with the queue.
Oh yeah, we're gonna start with the queue.
Basically, I think we waited like a total of like 10 to 15 minutes.
10 to 15 minutes, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Basically, we were in the queue, which is themed around like the Aztec movie theater, which the theming, I liked the theming.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks very nice in there.
They had like cutouts of like some of the characters. Like if you saw from the footage, there was like the Troy McClure posters. There's one part I didn't show was that there's a Sideshow Bob hidden off to the corner behind a palm tree. Which
he's standing behind a palm tree.
Yeah, and there was like a Radioactive Man movie and more posters with like McBain and then like a Hall of Fame. And then in the middle there was like a you could get your picture taken with Homer's.
Yeah, so like the idea was that there was a film festival going on, so Homer and like the whole Simpsons family were all dressed up all real fancy, and they were in front of one of those like those printed backdrops that are typically at some sort of music festival or award show or whatever. So that's where they stood us in front of to take pictures.
Yeah, I tried. If you could see me, if you saw earlier, I tried attempting to do like one of those like Tim Tracker stuff. It didn't work like I wanted. I hope. I don't know. I couldn't tell.
The attempted setup was a little bit weird, I think.
Yeah. Though there was also like a physical statues of Ralph, Wiggum, and Lisa like sitting on one of the benches, which I'm like, that's neat. I kind of wish there was more, but Bart was like in the outside, which was the best. I think Bart in the little like ticket booth was the best thing.
Yeah, I think that was the best sort of effect that they had going, or any of the, you know, outside decor. I think that was probably my favorite thing.
We will say it's a 4D show, but all the animation was 2D, which surprised me. I thought it'd be like actual CGI animation like they did for The Simpsons ride at Universal. But here's the thing. It's a film festival. I figured like the rule of three, there'd be 3 shorts. There's only 2 shorts.
There's 2 shorts. And there's this like little tiny intermission, like probably a minute long.
Yeah, but
with Bart and Ayn Rand, but like
it
really wasn't very long.
Well, the only way to know is that the first one we saw, I actually had never saw it, was Homer's our host, and he was saying you're in a 4D attraction where the seats actually poked you.
Yeah, the seats shake. They sort of move around you. It's set up exactly like a regular movie theater, except the individual chairs move.
And then there were air hoses underneath the seats, which Nicole hated. And then there was
I hate air hoses.
There was light effects, and also, well, we're going to talk about the water effects later, because that's just, there were water effects.
The entire thing was water effects.
The entire thing was water effects. We're going to save that a bit, but the shorts were basically, the first one was the Academy Award, I think, nominated. I can't remember if it won or not. But it was the longest daycare, which I never saw it.
Yeah, I'd never seen it before.
But no, I can see why it got nominated for an Oscar. It was great.
It was cute.
It was basically, for those who have never seen it, because I never have, it was basically Maggie going to the Iran daycare, which is a thing that is in the show. And she is trying to save this...
She's trying to save this caterpillar before it turns into a butterfly. And there's this other trash kid that...
Yeah, it's the...
The unibrow dude. I don't know.
The unibrow baby. I can't... Hermie? It's one of those. But...
Full disclaimer, I'm not like a giant Simpsons fan, so I don't really know most of these like little interesting calls and like callbacks and whatever. So I don't really know the characters' names. I was just along for the ride. Yeah, but in the end, like, Maggie saves the butterfly by switching it out with her bow. And I thought that was cute. That was a very cute short. Then we had an intermission with Iran, which made, I'm like, oh dear God, my friend Tony would not like this, because Iran has the worst, like, philosophies with all her stuff. Then to have her as part of, like, the little intermission felt so off. Especially with her way how she was with money. It felt really weird. The whole thing just felt really weird. And then she ate a butterfly, which made her more of a monster than she usually is. Yeah, I mean, they really went after it with the ripping her heart out about this stupid butterfly thing. And then she eats the butterfly. Then she eats the butterfly by the end. Like, they save the butterfly. Everything's great. And then she eats it. Ayn is a horrible person. Terrible human being. And then her and Homer she quickly introduced the next short that has Bart. It starts off with the normal, like, Bart and Milhouse are, like, cheesing Professor Chalmers. They squirt water guns at him. They go to an abandoned subway. To run away from him, and they find the abandoned underground Springfield subway. Because Milhouse found it, and they take the subway cart, and there's a reason why it was abandoned. Because it caused earthquakes underneath Springfield. Yeah, it caused earthquakes. It damaged the school, and they said that if there was any more damage to the school, any more seismic shaking or whatever, the school would go down. So Bart has the idea to take the subway to destroy the school. Homer goes underneath the ground after Lisa does her, like, eavesdrops on Bart. Yeah, Lisa lets him know that that's what's going to happen by And so Homer goes to the underground. He stops it, almost has a hard time trying to pull the kill switch, and then just imagines choking Bart, which is the common thing of usually when Bart does the thing. But his anger kind of worked in this part. Mm-hmm. And then he stops the train, but
the butterfly from the short lands on the flagpole and destroys the school anyway.
So everything is futile. We're living in an existential universe, I guess.
But then I figured there'd be another short, but then it's like, oh, that's the end, and Homer puts...
But you really didn't know there was only 2?
I knew there... Okay, no, I didn't know there was 2, but I was hoping there'd be another one.
Yeah, I knew that there was 2 going into it. That was the only thing that I knew about this.
I was hoping actually for a third one, but then it just ended with Homer doing all the effects.
All the effects at once, the big finale.
And then fire...
I laughed the hardest at one of the jokes that he says in there. And that was literally probably the only time I laughed.
What was it?
If you are pregnant, you will give birth. It was the only time that I actually busted out laughing watching it.
Oh. And then of course...
Oh, that and the Quakers meeting.
The Quakers one broke me.
Yeah.
But mainly because the earthquake had an earthquake.
Shaked a bunch of letters off of a thing that
was an earthquake meeting that turned into a Quakers meeting.
Yeah.
That was funny.
So the emergency earthquake meeting or something like that,
Yeah.
and then it shakes around to Quaker meeting, and then all the Quakers just come.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
So it ended with Homer doing all the effects. All the effects are coming out with us, and then fire does come out and then hits one of the speakers. And you see a speaker open with the little flames, and we're like...
Yeah, once the lights go up, there's a little speaker on the side that has a little flame coming out, and my immediate reaction was Duck Butt from Filler Magic.
Which is ironic, because The Simpsons is owned by Disney now. Which also in the queue, we had The Simpsons...
There was a sort of screen set up on the front.
It was just showing musical montages, which is weird, because was no musicals in this at all.
Yeah. And then there was
unless the
screens, and they were playing a bunch of things that were obviously referencing Disney.
Unless it was a theme to movies and television, which makes a lot of sense because they're movie parodies and television. But the Small World thing made no sense with the drunk.
Well, and then we had the Soren one as well.
Oh yeah.
So it was
that was a big clash. At Simpsons for the queue, I like how they themed that to some of the park stuff. That relates that wasn't The Simpsons. Sometimes they actually will give the most clips from Itchy and Scratchy Land because it's the best theme park episode ever. But this was it was a mixed match of things that really didn't make sense. The only thing that made sense was the Troy McClure and the Planet of the Apes musical, which I'm surprised they played that one. Mm-hmm. Though, like we mentioned earlier, there was water effects. There were heavy uses of water effects!
We were just talking about, right before we got into the building, how we were worried it was going to rain. And we were like, well, we're going to be inside soon, so we don't have to worry about that. No, it rained inside!
There was so much heavy use of water effects!
The entire time, there was just, water splashes. And they found every excuse to use it. Every time a bug would get killed in the Maggie short, we would get sprayed with water. They threw one in that didn't even make sense when Homer was talking to Marge at one point, and he was making sound effects, and, the sound effect he was making would not have actually caused him to spit at you. And they used it anyway.
And then there was also the mud made us wet, which makes no sense. Paste made us wet? What?
And Rand did it too? Just constantly. The seats when we walked in were soaking wet.
And I thought they had cleaned them. No, that was for the water effects.
Yeah.
There's a big reason why they have water effects in front of each single seat to make it easier, but they were coming down from the ceiling, I could feel
from the ceiling there was it was just really excessive.
It was so, even when the effect was done, we could still feel this mist on us, and we were so enough with the freaking water effects. We know it's summer, it's hot.
I get it, it's hot.
But we really did not need that much.
I think my issue with it is that if the rest of the effects were as intense, if the seat effects were believable enough, were interesting enough, were dynamic enough to sort of match the water effects, it would make sense. But I just felt like they were compensating for the lack of the rest of the effects.
Actually, I was hoping, I went in thinking, okay, that I know how the Simpsons 3D attraction is at Universal. I love that one. This one, it's trying so hard to be like that, but it's just so... That's the word I'm working for.
It was trying really hard. It just felt more local than anything else.
Yeah.
And that's that's the only way I can learn to describe it. Like, people here probably might maybe like it. People come to where we are now for vacations and things. Like, that might be something that they're interested in. If they're not going to go to somewhere like Universal, they're not willing to pay the admission price for that. Yeah, sure, maybe, but like, I don't think this is something like, if you've experienced the Simpsons ride, if you've experienced the level of detail from Universal, then you're not going to be impressed with this.
This had great. I love the theming with the building, and inside was great.
I was just gonna say, I love Quickie Mart. I think that is the coolest thing that we've got around here. Like, I think it's one of the coolest. Like, I don't know, licensed attractions that we've got. But the actual, and we were so pumped when we first did that first video on Quickie Mart. If you guys haven't seen it, we were so excited for this to finally open. But it's such a letdown.
Like, so I actually, like, if they wanted to keep that short, like, little film thing going, add a third one in to make it
maybe make it longer, make the seats move a little more.
Well, also because it kind of erupted, like, this Bart Simpson short kind of erupted with the skull breaking and Bart doesn't get consequences. That was abrupt.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like the endings of both of them were kind of like, this is it, we're done. Like, I get it that they're shorts, but I also feel like...
the actual daycare had an actual, like, ending, like, with the butterfly. But, and it was supposed to probably go into end credits, but not this time around.
Yeah, it was really weird. I just feel like, for the price that you're gonna pay for 2 shorts and some water spray, it's not worth it.
No, this was... For me, it was a letdown.
I don't feel like this is any different than me turning on a regular Simpsons episode.
Like, I actually would rather go to Universal and do the Simpsons attraction.
Oh, 110%. Like, and I don't think this is even something I would use to substitute for that.
Yeah.
Like, if I was feeling like, oh, I missed the Simpsons world, let me go do this thing to make me feel better. This is not something I would do for that.
One thing I'll give a praise is that I love that was 2D. That was neat. And I also love the Quickie Mart with the squishies and the donuts, like I mentioned. Like,
the donuts are great.
If you want
Squishies
the donuts that feel like Universal, go right there. But the show, with our local discount, I think we paid like roughly $16.
$17.19.
Yeah, that's with tax. But regular general admission was like $18, where you get the show and a free photo. But then if the big package where it's like $24 to get those two, plus a large donut and a large squishy. Like,
I would just go in there, get the squishy, and get the donut, and just forget that the rest of it exists.
Like, pay for the actual donut. It's only the giant donut's
only
$6.
Like $6, which is really, really inexpensive for that giant donut.
Which is half of the one that, like, we mentioned in the last video. Half of what Universal pays for, which is usually $12.
Yeah, I mean, that one is definitely overpriced. I feel like it's so confusing to me, because Quickie Mart is such a great, like, stand-in for Universal. I feel like our Quickie Mart is so great.
Yeah.
And the rest of it is just so sad.
I know.
Just so
maybe
sad.
This is the first time we're ever doing, like, some attractions that's not in a theme park.
Yeah.
Like, maybe there'll be other ones that'll be different. I have no clue where else, but here for the tourist trap of, like, Myrtle Beach, if you ever want to go to it, it's... Like, go only to the Quickie Mart.
Go only to Quickie Mart and then go back to wherever you are.
Yeah.
Or maybe stop on the way down to Florida and then go to Universal.
Yeah.
You know.
This was disappointing, and it's just like,
I feel, see, this is the way it is. The bottom line is, I feel stupid for being excited to go into this. And that is not a feeling I like, because I don't like feeling stupid. I don't feel like I should ever feel like I should walk out of something worse off than I was when I walked into it, paying that much money to do it.
Yeah, but I think that's all we really have to say. This was just,
I could keep going, so I'm not going to.
Yeah, we have the other things we are cool today, which we will probably do. You'll see more Nicole in another video with lunch.
We're gonna redeem this day.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
But if you want to help support the show, become a patron today at patreon.com/nightproduction to get some cool stuff, videos ahead of time. The first few pages of the Monster Home were up. You can also be these awesome Patreon producers, such as Dr. Z and Holland, the Brother Pamela Smith, Wes Morgan, Cutie Q. You guys are amazing. I hope we didn't disappoint you with this if you're some Simpsons fans, because
so sorry.
You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. You can also follow Nicole on Twitter and Instagram.
Yes.
And you can,
I'd never post on Instagram, but here I am.
And you can
maybe someday.
And if you want to get some cool merch, you can get them in the public description below. And that's all I have to say. Any final words for everybody?
Bring an umbrella.
Yeah, bring an umbrella just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah, so we'll see you in another video.